Welcome back to Scott Doing Sports today, ladies and gentlemen. I am back on myself again. It's time to start my college football bowl predictions and my NFL predictions for the week. Let's get into those right now. First game out tonight. The first bowl game this afternoon, Miami, Ohio, and UAB, 11:30 this morning on ESPN. I will go with UAB. I think they've been playing very well this year. Good team, so I'm going to go with UAB to get the win here. Next up today, 3 o'clock on ESPN. It'll be Troy and UTSA from Camping World State, from Exploria Stadium right here in Orlando. 69 degrees expected for the kickoff tonight, this afternoon. We'll go with UTSA here. I think they're a better team right now than Troy. Two very good teams. I think this should be a great game. I'll go with UTSA to get the win here over Troy. Now into tomorrow's game, Cincinnati and Louisville to start the day off. I will go with Cincinnati to get the win here. I think Cincinnati's a little bit better right now than Louisville. So I'll go with Cincinnati to get the win here over Louisville. Next up, Florida and Oregon State. Probably the easiest pick of the day tomorrow. I'll go with Oregon State to get the win here. I think Oregon State's a much better team than Florida is right now. I apologize to my buddy Stephen Battle, but I will take the Beavers here to get the win big over Florida. Next up, Washington State and Fresno State. I'm going to go with Fresno. I think Fresno State's going to get a win here over Washington State in SoFi Stadium, a virtual home game for Fresno State. I'm going to go with Fresno State to get the win here over Washington State. Next up, Rice and Southern Miss from in the Lending Tree Bowl. I will go with Southern Miss to get the win here. I think Southern Miss is a better team right now than Rice is. So I'll go with Southern Miss over Rice. Next up in the New Mexico Bowl, it'll be SMU and BYU. BYU, new member of the Big 12, coming in next year. SMU's got the better team, so I'm going to go with SMU to outscore BYU this week. I think Tanner Mordecai and SMU are going to put up enough, more points this week than BYU will, so I'm going to go with SMU to get the win here in the New Mexico Bowl against BYU. 35 degrees tomorrow night in New Mexico. That should be an interesting game to watch. Next up in the Frisco Bowl, 41 degrees tomorrow night. North Texas and Boise. I'm going to go with Boise State to get the win here. I think Boise State's a much better team than North Texas is right now, so I'm going to go with Boise to get the win over North Texas. Next up, Marshall and UConn, Monday, 2:30 on ESPN. I'm going to go with Marshall to get the win here. Great story for UConn making it to a bowl game this year. I just don't think they're good enough right now to win a bowl game. I think next year they might win a bowl game, but I think Marshall will get the win here over UConn. Next up, Eastern Michigan and San Jose State on Tuesday. I'm going to go with San Jose State to get the win here. I think San Jose State's a better team. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, I'm going to go with San Jose State over Eastern Michigan. Next up in the Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday night, Toledo and Troy. I will go with the Toledo Rockets to get the win here over Liberty. My apologies. Not Troy. Toledo and Liberty. Toledo will get the win here. I think Toledo is coming off a tough loss in the MAC championship game. So I'm going to go with Toledo to get the win here over Liberty. Next up, Western Kentucky and South Alabama. I'm going to go with South Alabama to get the win here. South Alabama's had a very good season in 10-2 right now. So I'll go with South Alabama to get the win here over Western Kentucky. Next up, Baylor and Air Force. I'm going to go with Baylor to get the win here. Our new friends in the Big 12. I'll go with the Baylor Bears to get the win here over Air Force in the Armed Forces Bowl. Next up in the Independence Bowl, it'll be Houston and Louisiana. I'm going to go with Houston to get the win here. I think Houston's a better team right now than Louisiana is. So I'll go with Houston to get the win here over Louisiana. Next up in the Gasparilla Bowl, this is where UCF beat Florida last year in the bowl game. I'm going to go with, this year it's Wake Forest and Missouri. I'm going to go with Sam Hartman and Wake Forest to get the win here. I think Wake's a little bit better right now than Missouri, so I'm going to go with Wake to get the win here over Missouri. Next up, Middle Tennessee and San Diego State. I will go with San Diego State to get the win here. I think San Diego State's a little bit better than Middle Tennessee is. So I'll go with San Diego State to get the win here in the Hawaii Bowl against Middle Tennessee. And now into the NFL games for the weekend. A 1-0 start for me last night after picking the Niners to get the win, and they did. We get 3 Saturday games tomorrow in the NFL. First game out, the Chiefs Saturday and the Indianapolis Colts heading into Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Niners, first team to lock up their division this year, locking up the NFC West last night. I think the Vikings are next. All right, they lock up the NFC North tomorrow with a win at home over the Colts. Next up, Tyler Huntley and the Baltimore Ravens heading into Cleveland to take on the Browns. Give me the Ravens to get the win here. The Ravens are a better team right now than the Browns. Deshaun Watson has not been playing the way he should right now in his first 2 games in Cleveland. So I'm going to go with the Ravens to get the win here on the road in Cleveland against the Browns. Next up, in a very snowy Buffalo, New York tomorrow night, it'll be Tua and the Dolphins heading into Buffalo to take on the Bills. Give me the Bills to get the win here and and make sure that they win this division and get a home game. They right now are the number 1 seed in the AFC, so they got to protect that. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to get the win here at home over the Dolphins. Now into the Sunday games. First up, the Philadelphia Eagles heading into Chicago to take on the Bears. Give me the Eagles to get the win here on the road over Chicago. I think the Eagles are a better team right now than the Bears. So I'll go with the Eagles to get the win here on the road in Chicago against the Eagles. No, against the Bears. Yes. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons heading in to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Rookie quarterback Desmond Ridder gets the start this week after they bench Marcus Mariota after a 5-8 start. Give me the New Orleans Saints in this game. I think the Saints are a better team. This is a tough place to play for a rookie quarterback. I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints to bounce back after a heartbreaking loss they had 2 weeks ago on Monday night. So they've had to sit on that for 2 weeks, and I think that they'll get the win here. So I'm going to go with the Saints at home over the Falcons. Next up, the Detroit Lions, one of the hotter teams in the NFL right now, heading to New York to take on the Jets. Give me Mike White and the New York Jets to get the win here. The defense for the Lions is not very good, but the offense is good for the Lions. They just can't stop anybody. I'm going to go with Mike White and the New York Jets to get the win here at home over the Lions. Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Carolina to take on the Panthers. Just because I need them to lose this week, I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers to get the win here on the road. I think Steelers are a better team right now than the Carolina. I think Carolina's pretty good this year, but they've not played up to their potential this year. They've only won 1 game away from home this year, Carolina, so that's good. That's good news for the Bucs when they head here on New Year's Day, so that's good news. I'll go with the Steelers to get the win here on the road over the Panthers. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys heading into Jacksonville to take on the Jags. I don't think Dallas makes the same mistake they did last week. I don't think they overlook the Jaguars like they did do the Houston Texans last week. I'll go with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys to get the win here on the road in Jacksonville against the Jags. Next up, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs heading into Houston to take on the Texans. Give me Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to get the win here on the road. I think the Chiefs are a much better team than the Texans. So I'll go with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to get the win here on the road in Houston against the Texans. Next up, Colt McCoy and the Arizona Cardinals heading into Denver to take on the Broncos. Tough pick here. Both teams are not very good. But just because they're at home and it's 33 degrees on Sunday in Denver, I'll go with Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos to get the win here at home. I think the Broncos are a little bit better than the Cardinals are right now, so I'm going to go with Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos to get the win here on the road at home over the Cardinals. Next up, Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots heading into Vegas to take on the Raiders. Give me the Pats to get the win here on the road. I think Bill Belichick against the former assistant here, Josh McDaniels. I think Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots get the win here on the road against the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are as good as people thought they'd be this year. And Mac Jones and the Patriots have to stay alive in the playoff race. So I'll go with Mac Jones and the New England Patriots to get the win here on the road over the Raiders. Next up, the Tennessee Titans heading into LA to take on Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. Two teams that are above 500. One team needs a win this week. The other team probably doesn't need to win this week. I'll go with the more desperate team right here, and that would be Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers to get the win here at home over the Titans. Titans are going to win this division still. They're still the best team in the AFC South. So I'll go with Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers to get the win here at home against the Titans. Next up, the Cincinnati Bengals heading into Ray J to take on Tom Brady and the Bucs. 68 degrees in Tampa on Sunday. I'm done picking this team to win games. I guess I'm going to go with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals to get the win here. I think the Bengals are a much better team right now. They've won their last 4 games in a row. I'll go with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals to get the win here on the road in Tampa against the Bucs on Sunday. Sunday Night Football should be an excellent game. Two teams looking for playoff spots. It'll be Danny Dimes and the Giants heading into Washington to take on Taylor Heineke and the Washington Commanders. 37 degrees on Sunday at FedEx Field. I'm going to go with the Commanders to get the win here at home. I think the Commanders are a little bit better. Hopefully this game doesn't end in a tie like it did a couple weeks ago. I'm going to go with Taylor Heineke and the Washington Commanders to get the win here at home over the G-Men. Next up, it'll be Baker Mayfield and the LA Rams coming off of a very improbable win on last Thursday as they head into Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Give me the Packers at home here at Lambeau. I think the Packers are a much better team right now than the Rams. 24 degrees on Monday night at Lambeau. I'll go with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers to get the win here at home over the LA Rams. And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Waiting Sports Day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back next week. Hopefully my dad will be here next week. And my World Cup prediction for the final on Sunday. 2 great teams, Argentina and France. I'm going to go with Argentina, though, to get the win. I think Lionel Messi finally wins his World Cup. This is finally his last one, so I'm going to go with Messi and Argentina to get the win here over Kylian Mbappe and France. But it should be an excellent game. I'll be watching that before the NFL games start on Sunday. And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Waiting Sports Day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back next week. Hopefully my dad will be here next week with him having some time off for Christmas. And I'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Waiting Sports. See you later, guys.